Well, first of all, sorry that I've been remiss in doing anything over the last 2 weeks, but unfortunately, my job as a doctor has kind of taken precedent. But I am back this weekend trying to work on some things on the camper here, specifically this hatch that opens up in good weather and makes this front seem like a tent. So today, this is what we're going to work on. Specifically, trying to get these pieces of carbon fiber that I printed in place up here on either side mounted. And then I've also got lights that are going to go in here, and these will be reading lights. So once again, hopefully get these on both sides. Then I'm also going to be putting in gas struts because this roof weighs a good 100 pounds. Not fun to push up just on your own and then to keep up. So I've got some gas struts, which are going to get mounted here, basically here and here, and that on both sides. That should definitely take the weight off if I've calculated right. So we'll see how that goes. I also had to make a special bracket here, which I just cut out of aluminum, 1/4 inch aluminum, and this way I could actually mount directly into the spar here, because I really didn't want to put too much weight on the window underneath. It's strong, but not that strong. So because this is going to have a fair amount of weight pushed on it, I wanted to kind of give it a different point. I also had to come down a little lower in order for the numbers to work out. I needed to have this point of the gas strut here, this distance from up here, as opposed to trying to put it up in this area. I haven't been not doing anything. I've been doing a lot of 3D printing as well, trying to get the pieces for the back window set up. So I'm actually quickly trying to finish the back inside just so I can get an idea of how it's going to look. But that's for another day. By the way, like and subscribe. It really helps kind of grow the channel. So for all 50 of you out there, I guess we're up to almost 80 at this point. But I love doing this stuff. And I certainly love kind of documenting it as well. So let's do this. Another issue that I wanted to deal with was this mounting point up here at the roof. There is going to be a printed spar, as you saw, that's going to go across like this, right, basically here. And I've created a groove for the gas strut to mount into right here, as you can see. But the problem is that the actual spar of the ceiling is back here. And I really I need to have some extra strength to mount, to brace this part where this particular gas strut's going to go, because it's going to take quite a bit of weight. Once again, I need to distribute it. So what I'm going to do is I put this 1.5 inch piece of aluminum in here, 1/8 inch aluminum. And I'm going to come down from the top and I'm going to put in 3 rivets to just kind of secure it to the carbon fiber up here. And then we'll come back and put the 3D printed spar on top of that, mounting that into here, here, and other metal points. And that should give it enough rigidity for this to work. I'm using close-ended snap rivets so that they are, for the most part, waterproof. That's what they use in making like aluminum boats and stuff. I think that's good right there. Now we'll put in 2 more. All right, that should be secure right there. 3 rivets from the top. So now we can go back in and work on securing the carbon fiber printed piece. See how that goes. So one of the things I want to do before I fit these pieces of carbon fiber into their appropriate places, I want to lower this lid back to closed so that I can get a nice tight fit on these inner parts. It'll kind of guide it as it comes down into place, but I don't want to be out of place because then the lid won't close perfectly. I've already discovered that in a few trial things I've done. So here goes. A high-tech system here. First thing going to be to get this marked off so it's the exact same distance as these spars over here. I'm going to tell you a little secret. I kept trying to print these spars full length, but I'm having a hard time with my 3D printer being able to make super long prints right now, and I know what's wrong with it. It's that I got the calibration messed up when I changed the belt, because the belt was going bad on the one printer. So I think I haven't got it perfectly even yet, and that's what I'm gonna have to work on. So right now, I'm just hedging my bets and making these multiple sizes, which I think is gonna be fine. Okay, that's better. What I can do, since I made that hole for the other one a little too big, I will use a riv nut, which actually adds a little strength in some ways anyways. It's got ups and downs for using them, but I'll put a riv nut up in that upper one so I can still take advantage of the 2 bolts at this end. All right, so that's where that's gonna go. Now, up here, we've got this aluminum to go into that we just put in from the top, so that should give us some extra strength there. And I'm actually going to leave this in place and just do it with this in place. I think that'll make it easier and stronger, and we'll just go from there. Now this one I'm going to have to put riv nuts in because it's very soft aluminum. So I think that the aluminum up here is only 1/8 inch. I'm sorry, 16th inch. And I'm going to have to put riv nuts in it to really make sure that I've got enough strength. There's always another solution. And my solution this time is to use riv nuts. Because if I make the hole too big, I can just make a bigger hole, put a number 5 riv nut in there, which is what I'm going to do for down here. And then up here with the thin stuff, I'm going to want riv nuts in there anyways, because there's not really enough to keep a nice tight thread. It's that thin aluminum there. So I've got some number 5s. Do some fancy moving here. All right. I'm just waiting to cut my arm off. Doing this. Like, you know, let go of the roof and have this 100-pound guillotine come down on me. All right, there's one nut, riv nut placed, the hardest one, I think. All right, these others, hopefully will be a little easier, because I don't think I'm going to have to raise the roof to do it. Let's see. Do you feel lucky? This is great for the ab muscles. I always tell people I don't need to go to the gym. This is my gym. I used to tell people when I was building houses, especially adobe houses, because they'd say, like, how do you stay fit? And I said, are you kidding? Come lift a few adobes. Let's see how we did here. And as I'm always saying, proof's in the pudding, so. One thing you have to be really careful with these riv nuts, though, is not to strip them out. They work very well. If you're not careful and you don't start your bolt just right, you can strip them. And then when you do that, you can actually cause them to turn inside the actual object you've put them in, and then they're pretty much useless, and you got to drill them out and start again. So I've learned my lesson the hard way on that one. All right, so one in, let's see. That feels good. And I've given myself some side-to-side play so that if I put them in too tight, I can adjust them a little bit this way so that I've got some room for the roof right there to go into its slot. Here's the one I'm curious about. Seriously, abs of steel, man. All right, we got it. All right. I am really quite happy with that. Now we'll have to do the other side. Same as this one. Do over there. When I do that, we can put the gas struts in and the lights in and see how they work. Here's the wiring for the lights, by the way. It's all set up. I just have to see if I can also get it into this. So I've created a slot for it. Oh, yeah, that won't be a problem. Easy, push that up. All right. I better not forget to disconnect the power to these before I do this, because otherwise I'll get a nice spark and blow up fuse. I've gone ahead and put some tape up here to tape this wire. It gives a little bit of EMF protection, but mostly just keeps the wires nice and tight so they don't jiggle. And less jiggling means a lot less chances of shorting out. Basically, this light will go into this little pocket right here, and I'll be able to maneuver it. These are really neat little lights. We'll maneuver this reading light anywhere I want it, and that should be pretty cool. We'll see that when it's done. Well, a couple of issues have arisen. So this light, the way this works is there's a little mounting ring that goes in like this here, and this mounting ring here gets mounted first. This mounting ring gets mounted first, and then there is a screw right here that you tighten down to keep it in place. The problem is that screw, when I put it up here into where it's going to go, is actually within the inset, and there's no way I'll be able to get to it. So my solution was to, if I can get it to work here, get this out now, to drill a hole on the other side right here and tap it with a 5mm tap. So hopefully we can just get to it and just screw it in from here to tighten it up. So that's what we'll see if it works or not. Okay, so this is going to go right. Oops, it's going to go with the little lip out like this. So I will need to put some holes in this. And because this is printed PETG and not solid, I will probably go ahead and put in a couple of heat set nuts in this, and then we can use those to screw this in. I think that's not the worst idea. One thing I like to do is I like to pre-drill holes into the PETG before I put in the heat sinks. And there's a couple reasons I do that. One is so that they'll go in exactly where I want them. And also, it tends to get less plastic inside the threads, which can be a pain in the butt to clean out. So, I've already got the inserts here. So now I just need to heat my soldering gun up. And as soon as it's ready here, I love this little battery operated soldering gun. It doesn't last real long, maybe about 15 minutes of soldering at most, but you can put it into places you can't get anything else. It seems to work pretty well. So here we go. All right, there's one. There's two. I'm actually putting in 4, even though I don't plan on using 4, because I have a hard time lining everything up perfectly. So my guess is that I'll at least be able to get 2, maybe 3 of the screws in without any problems. And I think that'll be plenty strong for this little light. All right, there's 3. And last, but by no means least. All right, so there we got 4 heat inserts, and we'll let them cool for a second, and then hopefully this thing will fit and we can actually secure it in there. All right, well, after rooting through my various and sundry screws, I found some very short number 4s, just random ones. And they need to be, because I didn't drill these holes very long. So unfortunately, they won't go in very far. And so the ones I had that were only 1/2 an inch were still way too long to go in. So, all right, let's see. All right, there's one. See if we get lucky with the others. Kind of like some bizarre game of Twister, or more like Limbo. All right, there's one in. Now, if I can get one more in, I'm going to be happy with that. Over here. Yeah, there we go. Well, we got 3. All right, and 3 is a perfectly good number. I'm going to see if we can get this light in here now. I'm hoping that we will be able to. First, I have to loosen this up a little bit so I can get the wires through. Let's see if we can fit this light in here. There we go. All right, well, as you can see, I have managed to get the light in, and I think it looks pretty good. And it'll have a lot of flexibility, range of motion. Now I'm just going to get it wired up, get the other side on, and then we can put the gas struts in and see how well it works. All right, let's see. All right, well, got the lights in, and they look pretty good, and they seem to work nicely, and I like the reading lights. I think they're going to work out pretty darn nice. But I haven't had time or the energy to get the gas struts on, so I'm going to do that tomorrow.